Welcome back to another video. I am finally filming on a different device, so it's probably going to be better. I guess we're really stepping it up a notch with my filming quality, because I always used to just film on a phone, and now I'm thinking about it like, yeah, I feel like we need to evolve past that phase. I feel like, we just hit 500 subscribers. I want to thank all of you guys, all the new subscribers. Welcome to my channel. So I feel like I need to step up the quality on my end a little bit. So, welcome to another video. Today, I'm going to be doing a story time. This will definitely be a very down-to-earth video. Definitely I'll bring out, my regular personality, because I know a lot of the stuff I talk about is so serious and just, I don't even know how to talk about what I do sometimes. Yeah, I tap into energy, I remote view, but I need more lighthearted stuff too, because I need that balance. It can't just all be agendas. It can't just all be seriousness. I need I need more almost humility. You know what I mean? And I feel like today you're gonna get that from me. And maybe you'll get to know me as a person a little more, and just my journey. So that's really what we have going on today. Once again, if my content resonates, subscribe, like the video, join the Exit Frequency. And I also, once again, I'll include my one-on-one sessions booking link in the description below for those who are still considering a one-on-one session with me. And what else do I need to cover? Okay, my next video, I don't know. So I haven't remote viewed. All of a sudden there's an alarm going off, and I'm literally just talking about this. I don't know where that noise is coming from, but that's so weird. I've never heard this noise. So there's an alarm going off, and all I'm doing is telling you guys that there's a big remote view that I'm planning, and I don't know if it's fear that's coming up of I feel I have been warned, because I tapped into meditation the other day. I was doing some channeling, and I was really just looking at, should I even do this? And what came forward was I need to be 120% ready to go. If I'm really not ready to go, I'm not going to remote view this particular a facility. So I just want to make sure I'm 100% ready to go. So I know I said I had a big remote viewing video coming up at the end of the month. I won't know until closer. I just have to assess, and then I'm obviously going to do what I do to get access and to see what's coming forward. But I was warned it's not going to be pretty. I've never been warned like this before, setting an intention to remote view somewhere, and I still have it. I'm not planning the remote view for several more days from now, but I'm is this too big off the bat? Things might make more sense. I mean, in the future, when I guess I share or I did share with you guys that after my July to December predictions video, my technology got hacked. That was intense. And then after one of my HARP series videos, there was some weird stuff that happened, but I was protected doing it. So I just need to make sure. Oh, and I've had a couple other, this is over a couple years ago now, just interesting remote viewing experiences that did not end well. So I think it's more I just need to see where I'm at, and then if I'm ready to do it, I'm going to do it. But the next video could be probably one of the biggest videos that I'll be dropping, and I just have to emotionally be ready for that. So, okay. So we covered that. So possibility of a big video next. So obviously you guys will know if that does occur. And let's just get right into this video. So I'm just getting my list of all of the, like, the order. I have 7 stories that I'm going to be sharing with you guys today. Okay, so it's not in any particular order, but, like, some of these stories are, like, fucking mind-blowing, okay? Like, this is showing, like, sort of the stuff that I have done and just, like, spiritual experiences I've had. Yeah, we're getting into encounters. Okay. So, story number 1, this was a couple years ago now. So, I was close to someone at the time, and they reach out to me. I always used to, like, occasionally help them, like, remove an entity or, like, almost just, like, clear their field. So, this individual comes to me and was like, hey, you know, like, I know I've had something attached onto my field for a while. Like, can you help? So I was like, you know what? Because, like, at that point I was like, I'm more like, I think we all have the power to, like, clear our own energy. But I was like, almost just like, I actually waited a few days to help this individual because I'm like, okay, maybe, like, you'll be able to, like, do something that'll, like, remove it. This individual was not successful. So long story short, I remote view into this individual's field, and immediately, this is like the most wild entity and, like, with remote viewing, like, entity like encounter that I've probably ever experienced, and it was mind-blowing. So I remote view into, you know, this person's field, and I'm like, I see this, like, I need to, like, literally, I could easily go back to this moment. It was like, it wasn't even tall, but it was this, like, half gray, half reptilian being. And it had, like, gray eyes, okay? Gray eyes. It had a reptilian tail. And it was, like, in, like, a gray body, but it was green and scaly. And it had, like, a yellow nose. It was so ugly. So I was, like, not wanting to freak the person out, but I was sort of just, like, telling them what was there. And this being, like, something about this being was, like, it was really, like, I was like, holy shit, like, this is going to be hard to get out. Like, this is stubborn, and it's been here a while. So I was like, I'm going to talk to it. So I remote view, and, like, I'm there, right? And it's so, it was probably definitely up there of the most ugly looking beings I've ever seen. Literally half gray, half rep. I did not know that was even, like, a thing until I saw that thing. So I was, like, talking to this being. I was like, what are you doing here? Because, like, this individual is a sovereign being that you're on. Like, you don't have a right to just, like, attach onto someone like that. Like, I don't know what you're in. Like, I kid you not. Like, this is, like, sort of just a conversation that's happening. And what was told to me by this being was it had like a military order. So it told me that. And I'm like, what? Like, what do you mean a military order? This was the exact remote view when I saw, like, what the military can actually do, which we're going to get into. So I go back to the person. I'm like, I was just, like, told, and, like, yeah, I'm still obviously going to work on removing this, but, like, something weird with the military with this being. Like, I don't know what's going on, but, like, would you know of anything? And literally, you know, this person pulls up their phone and was like, wait, somebody's been reaching out to me about this, like, oh, it was like, I'm going back to the map. It was like, this person was, like, reaching out to the individual who I was helping, who's, like, an old friend. And all of a sudden I'm being, like, read these messages. This is, like, as I'm, like, going back and forth to, like, the situation, and then, like, you know, going to the individual being like, oh my goodness, like, there's this here. Kid you not. I'm being read these messages of the conversation this person was having with this like guy from the military who they were like friends in the past. He was basically like saying in text that he's now like a hybrid and like he did rituals and he's like literally now like he like a reptilian is basically like he gave permission to like basically have one almost like snatch his body or something like that. Like he basically, it's not like selling your soul, but it's almost like he basically like did a ritual to like become a hybrid. So a hybrid reptilian. So I'm like, oh my goodness, like there's links here. So I immediately go back because I'm like remote viewing and I'm still like helping, you know, the best I can because I was like, what? Like this was the remote view. I was like, oh my goodness, I did not know that the military can like actually like send beings onto people like that. So I'm talking to this being and it was literally telling me like, I have orders to be here, to attack this person, like to be on this person. So it turns out the guy like did this to the person who I was helping to like try and suck them into like a friendship. I don't know. That's what came forward. And I was getting all this information and I was like telling the person I was helping, I was like, oh my God, like this is what's going on. Like, I don't think it's best for you to talk to him. You know, like the guy in the military who's like, who totally arranged this. So I remember like, it was just so intense for that individual when I was coming across the information. And then like, she basically like went into, she closed her eyes and like ended up seeing that particular being there. I know it was like, meanwhile, I was there too. And like, she was also like awakened too. So it was like, she was also aware of like what was going on at that point. So anyway, I was like, okay, we're both going to send light and remove this being because like it needs to go. Like, we know he sent that to you. Like, do not contact this like reptilian guy in the military. Like he obviously has malicious intentions. So the next 45 minutes, it was like a struggle to remove this being. Like it was so stubborn. It was basically like, I have orders. I was told I have to be here. And then I was like talking to it and I'm like, get out right now, or I'm sending you through a white light portal. Like, I will literally open a white light portal. I'm literally talking to this being like this. I'm going to open a white light portal and literally send you through. So, like, you could either leave without me doing that, or you're going to leave anyway when I force you through a white light portal. Like, at that point, I was like, I'm not fucking around. Like, you are leaving. Like, you are not able to do this to someone. Like, I was like so firm. Like, I was so mean, honestly, to it. But like, I like, how is this even happening? Like, how did I pick up on this, like, military thing, and then, like, we pieced together this, like, whole, like, this guy ended up, because I was told by that being, like, it had orders from that particular individual. I'm like, this is just a clusterfuck. So, I basically was like, so then I was, like, waiting, because I'm like, you know what, I don't want to have to send you through White Light Portal. Like, you need to, like, go on your own. Like, if you are doing this, like, and I'm giving you an opportunity to go to a white through, like, literally go back to where you came from, or I'm sending you the light, just, like, leave. Anyway, I was waiting, because, like, I really don't like forcing, or, like, I almost wanted to, like, give that being free will to, like, leave, right? Like, get out of there. Like, you're not meant to be there. Like, it was such a weird situation. I've never come across something like this where it was, like, I felt called to almost be, like, you need to go, like, or I'm removing you. And very weird. So anyway, then it was like refusing to leave, and I'm like you're going. So I open up this white light portal, and like we were both sending light at it, and it like totally started, like, the being was like glitching in the energetic field of this person, and was like, oh my God, it was like I honestly can't even explain to you, like, what, because I was just, like, remote viewing, seeing this all happen. I'm like, oh my God, like, we are getting it. It's leaving. And then it just went to the light, and it removed. And in that moment, the person I was helping was like, I have never felt the biggest weight lifted off my chest. Like, when this thing lifted, and like I saw it lift, and then I was like, dude, are you, how are you feeling? And then like that's when I knew it lifted, because yeah, but it was like, that's when I knew, I was like, holy shit, I didn't know like the military can actually like somebody high up in the military can like literally direct a being to like attach onto someone like in the astral realm. It's so fucked up. And like it really makes you go to show like all the shit that they're able to do. And we know like we literally, I feel like we like live in like, we do live in like an Illuminati military simulation run by, you know, these beings, and basically, you know, whatever, right? Like we know we live in like, I'm not even going to get too much into that right now, but like we basically live in like a simulation. So, but I was like, oh my God, like that was just such an intense like story. I just wanted to be called, I'm called to share that first one. So that's story number 1. Okay, story number 2. This one is freaking mind blowing. Like this was, I want to say December of 2023 or January 2024. Yeah, one of the two. So at this time, I was still in AA. I was literally about to leave because I was waking up. So I ended up having like an insane third eye activation the end of 2023 through the beginning of 2024, which literally like, that's what consistently shot me into like the 5th dimension, almost like that event, like the 6-month activation I had, like that was my no going back to anything I knew before moment. So I was waking up to like being in this program, and just a brief note, like controversial statement, but fuck it, because I actually really do, like, I'm taking this statement to the grave with me no matter what. There are links between AA and the Illuminati and the shadow government. So I'm just stating that like so clearly. Like as someone that was in the treatment system, right? And then you're led to this, there are shadow ties. And like I know that for a fact. I know it's sounding, I'm going to do a whole video maybe on AA one day, but also just like rehabilitation systems and sort of how there's so much horrific shit that goes on, like just from even talking to people, like it goes as deep as sex trafficking, honestly. And I know that for a fact. I've talked to people. There's sex trafficking at treatment facilities in the US with like, you know, young kids who are like going through addiction, and there's a lot of pedophilia in these systems. And I know there's a lot, I've heard of horrific experiences of abuse at facilities in Utah and Texas. And I've literally, like, the stories I've been told, and how like there actually has been some sort of like military tie to that from certain encounters that I've heard of. But it is so fucked up, like what goes on. So anyway, it's like, then, you know, you're in that system and then you're sent to AA. It's like, there's a fucking tie. I'm sorry. Like, and honestly, like, I'm not even going to get into the cult, but I remember like when I left AA, and literally it was late January 2024, I was like, I'm not coming back, because like I'm having an awakening, and like I do not need to be in a low vibrational program to like, that's going to keep me from my ascension. And I remember like when I was like basically starting to say that I was like not gonna come back, because at this point I was like, I was over 2 years sober at this point. I was like, I know I'm not gonna go back to like doing what I was doing, because like I would just be under spiritual attack again, and like I'm never going back to that. Like everything I knew in the past like is totally irrelevant now, because I've like had my ascension. Like I know like there's no, like I can't know any more, much more than I know now at this point. And I can't even count on hands how many people came up to me saying like, if you leave, you are going to die. If you leave, you are going to die, and we're going to read you in the obituary, and you're going to end up blah, 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 blah. Can't even count. Okay. It's a cult. Okay. So anyway, I just had to obviously rant about AA. So I had a commitment at the time. Obviously because I was like a young person and I was like obviously very like, as spiritually open I could have been in AA, very tailored down. But like it was obvious that like I, really like turned to something greater to stay sober. I mean, obviously, right? So I was like invited, to do all these like commitments. So one of the commitments I had to do was going to literally a psych ward and like telling my story. So I just kicked my thing. So I was like asked by this person like who runs the commitments, hey, can you tell your story like this Tuesday night at X, Y, and Z facility? I'm like, sure. And I was actually going to go with my first ever AA sponsor who like wasn't, at that point I was like I was already like kind of headed out a little bit because I was like, I literally am consciously not able to be in this program anymore. But I like knew this person going. So I was like, okay, of course I'll go. So I go and, I actually tell my story first. So I basically was like, yeah, I got sober at like 16 and like, this is what I did. And like, I really had to look within to heal what I had to heal. And like, obviously you're in like a psych ward. Like it's going to be like a lot of people that, are like under attack right now. Like that's literally what a psych ward is. Like you're going there because you're like, you're having a third eye activation and like an entity will just like come in and take over, or like you're just getting attacked like that. I mean, I don't really know what else it is, honestly. Like that's just the clearest link just from my own personal experience, seeing this for what it is and just like all that. So I was like, anyway, so I told my story first, everything went well. And then the other person I was with was telling her story, and it was like a pretty long story. So I started like looking around the room, and this guy in like the back right corner, wait, if I'm looking straight, it was the back left corner. I was looking straight in the room, yeah. And I kid you not, I like look at this person and it's almost like he was almost in like a fetal position. And I was like being like really called to like almost just like tap in quickly to see like what was there. So I was basically like tapping in, and kid you not, like I tap in and I see this like 8-foot tall, like astral, like it was almost like a demonic looking being. And I was like, it wasn't like reptilian. It was almost just like eating his like soul essence alive. And I'm like, and I like closed my eyes briefly and I'm like, holy shit. Like this being is like totally attacking this person. That's probably why they're here right now. So I like close my eyes briefly, send a shit ton of white light to this person in the corner. And maybe it was like 30 seconds to a minute. Like it could have just been like, I could have just been like this. Like that's what I was looking like, but I was like doing that. And yeah, she was still telling her story at the time. So it was like sending this white light at this being. It literally almost looked like a demon. Like it was like a demonic entity. And I'm like sending it to the light. I'm like, you don't have permission to like attack this person. Like that, who knows how long that being was there. It was like there, and this person was in like a fetal position, and it looked like they did not have, like it looked like their soul was removed from their body. Like that's what it looked like. So I kid you not, a minute after, it was probably a minute past, like this being, I send it through a white light portal. Like that's how, like I literally was able to remove it. And I look up and like around and, just like seeing what's going on. And this person that was in like a fetal position, almost just like obviously under attack. And like, it was a possession, like practically, is up and alert and like listening to her. And I'm like, I think something just like energy just like came by me. So I'm like, good confirmation. I was just like, what's that? Kid you not, like alert and almost just like looked like this. Like it was almost like he went from like this, like, or like it looked like he was soulless, and like I was like, oh my goodness, it's gone. Like this, like just so fast. I look over and I'm like, holy crap, like that being is gone. So yeah, that was definitely another powerful experience, because I was like, I did not want to end up going that night. Like I said yes because I was just like, at this point, like, sure, I'll go. But like, to honestly like see like what I helped with in that moment, and like going to like an area where there is a lot of entities, for example, in like a psych ward like that, like it's like, oh, there were so many other entities, but that one was like, yeah, like that needed attention. I was just so grateful I was able to like help assist, even though like who knows if that person will ever know like sort of how that was removed. I mean, I couldn't imagine like how you're just like going like this, and almost like this being is like totally like possessed, like it was like a possession, to like all of a sudden like I saw that thing go to the light, and then I opened my eyes and look around, and like I was like, you are not like that like the last hour we've been in this room, like I'm sorry, like no. So I removed that, and that was like really that was really intense. So that's that story. Ooh, okay. This is, yeah, fascinating. Now we're getting into the story on, this was in August of 2022. And, okay, so this was, I remember it was like the last night of summer, okay? And I was over at like a friend's house, and we were just like sitting outside by the pool for like, I don't know, maybe like 3 or 4 hours. And like this friend that I had was like awake, like at the time. Like, so we were just like talking about like the Illuminati, like reptilians. Like this was like oh my God, this was like almost 4, this was like 4 years ago. So we were talking about like the Illuminati, like reptilians, and like basically like, yeah, and like at the time, like I was getting psychically interfered with that summer a little bit. Like I was getting like, so like the end of 2021, I got sober, but I still was getting like attacked on and off like 2022 and 2023 up until like the first few months of 2024. I've been pretty good since the middle of 2024. Yeah. But it was still like, oh my goodness, like I was still, under attack. So then but that's when like I really upped all my spiritual protection, and I really know how to master like any interference now and not give it any power. But back then, like if I was under attack, like I'd be like running around being like, oh my God, there's a fucking entity right by me. Like I would be freaking the fuck out, and like that entity would like totally just come to me because I'd be in fear of it, and it would know I knew it was there. So like of course it loved that. But anyway. So anyway, we're just sitting outside. It's like August. I remember it was like Saturday. I'm so like, this is my memory, guys. I know dates like this. Saturday, August 27th, 2022, because it was Sunday, August 28th when what happened. So we're, just talking, and like, we're just literally just talking about like Illuminati and reptilians. And like, we were talking about like, yeah, like 2022, like 2021 to 2024 was weird because it was like no movement was fucking happening. Like, I mean, I knew there was movement behind the scenes, but we're like, there's nothing coming out. Like, I think we were talking about like just like other shit that like other stuff, and we were like, why isn't anything coming out? And like, I don't know. I feel like I definitely put a lot of energy that night into talking about agendas. And like, I think there's like a good cutoff where it's like, okay, enough is enough. And I remember like, I was like, yeah, like we need like the Rothschilds to go back to their fucking planet. Like they're not, like they need to leave the planet. Like I was just going at it. Like I was like, I was like, we need those like reps to leave the planet. Like that's like, I was just going off. Okay. I was just like, how are they getting away with what they're getting away with? Like, I was still very like ungrounded at the time. Like I was definitely stuck in the agendas up until really like 2024 was when I really started ascending past the agendas a little bit. I always go to the agendas still, but I'd say 2020 through 2023, even the end of 20, it was like really just, I gave the agendas way too much power. But I know it was like going off so hard, and like all of a sudden I started feeling weird, and like I felt like, I think like an entity's around me now, because we were like giving all that shit so much power, and I'm like, I think like I just called in something, because I was like talking about all these things and wasn't really like protected. That I didn't call in protection before talking about all the shit we were talking about. So I'm like driving home, and like all of a sudden like lights started glitching, and I'm like, oh shit, here we go. Here we go. Like, this is such a thing to happen after talking about like stuff like that. I'm driving home, and like I felt something attach onto me, and I'm like, shit. That would be me. Every time I felt like an entity like attach onto me, I'd just be like, fuck, leave. Like, so anyway, I'm like driving, and I'm like, oh my God, I need to like put on frequencies. Like some things I'm getting fucked with. Like I knew I was getting fucked with, because then I was getting like racing thoughts, and like I was feeling like just like, it was just very ungrounding. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to go to bed. I'm going to wake up tomorrow morning. It was like, I was probably sitting by the pool from like 7 to 10. I get home. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to, wake up in the morning. It's like the last day of summer. I think I was like maybe going into like, what year was it? I was going into like 11th grade. So I was like, it's the last day of summer, because that was the last day of summer that day before school started. I was like, I'm going to like go out, on the boat all day. Because like at our summer house, we have a boat in front. We leave our boat there. So anyway, I'm like going to bed, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to wake up in the morning and go out on the boat, because I'm like, and meanwhile, it's 2022. We had this particular boat since 2010. So we, would leave it out there. It would be like on like a mooring in like out on the water in the cove on the ocean. It was like in a cove, and like there's other people that left their boats there. So it was like, just something that we always did. Like we just left the summer boat in front of the summer house. Okay, so I'm like, I'm going to wake up in the morning, I'm going to go out on the boat, and it's going to be a great day. So, I'm going to sleep, and I'm feeling really weird. Okay, like weird meaning like I was getting attacked. Like I don't know what it was at like talking about all the shit that I was talking about, but I think like something happened. Like I don't know about like, sometimes when you're going down like the rabbit hole like that, like, and just like giving all these agendas power, like you're gonna manifest an entity to just like fucking come and attack you. So like that's sort of where I was at back then. It was like I knew I was under attack. I'm like, okay, you know what, tomorrow I'm gonna like be in the sun all day, like enjoy the last day of summer, like the being, like whatever energy was fucking with me, like I would be able to like be good. Okay. So I wake up in the morning, and like I'm getting ready to go, and I'm like walking out, because like I would take a kayak to like get out to the boat, and I look out, and the boat is submerged underwater. The fucking boat sunk. Okay. The boat sunk, and the tip is like bobbing in the air, and it was like a 19-foot boat. Like, and we had this boat for 12 years. And at that moment, I remember I was walking out, and I just like drop everything, and I'm like, those motherfucking entities. I knew they sunk it. Like they fucking sunk it. There's no like, which I ended up getting confirmation when I remote viewed a year and a half later, but in that moment, I was like, they did it. Like, they totally just fucking sunk this boat. Like, there's not a coincidence. Like, I just knew, and I was like, oh my God, they just did that. They just, like, I was almost laughing. I was like, oh my goodness, they totally just orchestrated this on me. No, they totally did. And, yeah, but I ended up getting, over it, and it was real. I was really upset. I was so attached. It was like I would go out there like all the time, like, and we had it for 12 years. Like And they chose to fucking sunk it that night. Like, I'm not, like, I can't even make this up. And meanwhile, that night I was under attack. So I knew they did it. And I was like, fuck you guys. Like, I don't really care. Like, I'm sure we'll get another one. We ended up getting another one. But yeah, so they ended up sinking it. And then a year and a half later, this was like almost 2 years later, in June of 2024, I actually remote viewed what happened. And I literally like went back to that night, and obviously like I went out to the scene of the water because I wanted to see, okay, what actually happened. And I saw like a group of entities around the boat, like removed plugs from underneath the boat and sunk it. Like I saw it. I was like, holy shit, like, whoa. Like, honestly, like I was just like, they they could do stuff like that. Like that, like I knew they could do stuff like that. So I saw like they like push, they removed a lot of like plugs that obviously like if you remove it, a boat's gonna sink or fill up with water. And they like pushed all that stuff, and yeah, that's how it filled up with water and sunk and then capsized. I saw how that whole thing happened. But I was like, why would you guys do that? Like, such asshole. I can't with these entities. So anyway, this is why, like, since I really started upping my protection, like, nothing really, knock on wood, has happened because I have such high checks and balances. Like, I was so ungrounded in 2022. Like, I was I was getting there, but I was like, I remember like calling up my friend the next day being like, they just sunk the boat. Like, I was crying. I was like, I can't believe they just did that. I was like, because like this person knew about entities and like what they do. And I was just like, I knew they did it. Like, and that's where I'm going to leave the story there. So entities sunk that boat. Okay. Like, I just like, all I wanted to do was just like go out and enjoy my last day of summer, guys. And like, that had to happen. Okay. I ended up laughing. I was like really sad for 2 days, and then I started laughing. I was like, okay, like they're just they actually think that they can like think that I didn't know they did that. Like, okay, next story. Ooh, okay, so now this is okay, yes, a satanic circus. Okay, cool. So, so this had to be in 2023. Yeah, I believe. Yes, I think it was 3 years ago. So, it's like my family was doing like a trip to Florida because I have a lot of family here, and I ended up moving here, but they were like, okay, we're going to go down this like long weekend and just like go to Florida. And I didn't want to go. Like, I was getting such an urge to be like, no, like, I don't want to go on this trip. Like, I just want to stay home. Like, and it was also, I remember it was like around an eclipse portal, and I was like, I'm not feeling like going. Like, I'm going through a lot right now. Like, I'm not energetically wanting to go. So, I was just like guilted to go, and I was like, I don't want to go to Florida now. Like, I was just like, just not wanting to go. I don't know why my nose is so itchy. So anyway, we're like going to Florida, and like, it's just like, when I don't want to travel, I don't want to travel. Like, I am very sensitive to energy. Some of these flights have the worst energy. I feel like shitty, and then we go through like the TSA machines. Like, whenever I go through TSA, I'm just like, ugh, it's just like, I'm like, why did you guys have to do what you did? Right? Like, that's just what I think of every single time. And I wasn't even alive for that. Like, I'm like, why do you have to fucking just pull shit left and right? So anyway, I always felt that way going through that. So I was like, I don't want to go through the machines and like get all that radiation, blah, 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 blah. So I was like, fine, I'll go. And I know it was going with my family. And when I say my family's fully asleep to everything, like, they are fully asleep to everything. I have 3 older siblings, and all 3 of them are fully asleep. And my parents are asleep. Everyone in my family, when I say fully asleep to everything, like, guys, I say fully asleep to everything. Like, they can't even question 9/11. They can't even question, like, honestly, this Epstein stuff, I'm like trying to give them the information on like the rituals, and like they'll never know. Like they're not contracted to awaken. So I'm like, like, okay, like I'm gonna go away with, my sleep family, and I'm already like really heightened at the time. I think this was around the time my third eye activation really began, and I was like, oh my God, like I just can't be around any asleep people right now. There has to be a reason why I incarnated. I really know why I incarnated into such a sleep dynamic. I mean, it had to wake me up. It did wake me up even more. But anyway, so I'm like, fine. Like, we'll go to this. Like, one night they wanted to go to this circus. I was like, I don't like going to events with a lot of people because there's always like weird rituals that happen. And I'm good at spotting rituals because not only am I awakened, I've had past life, negative experiences being a victim of rituals. And, which I'm actually going to open up about when I do my trafficking and adrenochrome series. So, because that will tie into a lot of sort of stuff that I've had to overcome in this incarnation and that I still am healing. So it's just a whole thing. So I'm like, I don't like going to big events because there's always satanic rituals, and like, I'm always like, I never liked going to like big events or like football games, or like, I remember like, because I had 3 older siblings, I'd always visit, I'd have to go and like visit them at the colleges and like go to these football games. I went to these big colleges, and I'm like, it's just like everyone is like drunk and like summoning entities into the stadium, and like this is like me as an awakened perspective, and I'm like, and like I feel like there's like satanic messaging, and like I'm just like, I don't want to fucking participate in this. So I was always like bribed to go to these things. Now, as of 2024 onwards, you will never, ever get me to go to an event ever again. Like a big event. I will never go to one. So, so we go to this circus, and things got like really weird when the circus began, and all of a sudden, like, there was, and I was with like my whole family, okay? And like, meanwhile, I'm like awake to shit, okay? So this circus begins, and immediately I'm like, this is satanic. This is totally satanic. Like there was like blood stuff, and like everything was in red and flashing lights. And I'm like, they're gonna do some weird stuff. So I was just bracing myself. And as time was going on, it was like, yeah, it was just like really satanic. Like they had like weird satanic, like people were coming out with goat heads, and I was just like, I knew what was happening, and I was just like, guys, like this is, I was telling my asleep family, like I was like, at first I was like, yeah, I think this is a satanic ritual, and like everyone just looks at me like I'm crazy, right? And then in this circus acts like someone, like a person, 2 people come down from the ceiling with satanic, like it was I never see, it was like totally like they had like horns up, signs up, horns. I'm not even joking. They were holding up the hands, which I'm not holding up. And all of a sudden they start playing like satanic frequencies. And as they're doing that, this is an act. And I was like, no. Like, I was like, guys, this is me 3 years ago. I was like, this is a satanic ritual. Like, I've been telling you about this, okay? Like, I was like telling this to my family, and they all just thought they think I'm crazy, okay? And so be it, because I don't care. They were doing a satanic ritual in front of me in the circus. Like, everyone's cheering. And I'm like, all of a sudden, there's satanic frequencies playing, red flashing all over, okay? People are coming down from the ceiling in, like, satanic outfits and, like, horns on their head and holding up signs on their hands and, like, doing, like, weird moves. And all of a sudden, like, 10 people come out in the black hats. I don't know what it was called. I believe it was called circus. You could look it up online. I need to check my phone. I believe it was Circus something. Circus. As I'm looking on my phone, they're coming out. It is a satanic ritual, and they're literally Circus du Soleil. What nationality is this? Canadian? Oh, it's probably French because there's a lot of satanic stuff within there and just other culture stuff like that, like pedophilia. And that I got from I know all the locations where all this happens because I just remote view over to these places and I'm like, oh, this area, Hive, that stuff, and then that, and also like even just America, it's just the culture. It's just like, now I'm getting off topic. Like we're literally brainwashed to believe we're like free, and we literally like we're founded by the Illuminati. Like I'm like, okay, like wake the fuck up. No, everywhere in the world is taken over by like satanic Illuminati reptilians, and like that's just where I'm at with that. And yeah, the powers that were falling. Okay, they're falling really. Like I know they're falling, but I just wanted to see that name was like, I was like, is that like French? Because I would not be surprised if a French like shadow government person like got that play over to the United States. Okay, so kid you not, they're coming out and it's all like satanic, and like then like 10 people come out in like black hats and they're doing a ritual. Like it wasn't like I don't know what they were doing, but in that moment I got up and I like yell, this is a satanic ritual, like, and everyone sitting by me, like, the looks on their faces, like, the looks on their faces, that's all I'm saying, and, like, I'm like, I am leaving, like, I made such a scene, I'm like, and I'm, like, screaming to my family, I'm like, do you see this, like, I've been telling you about this, like, wake up, like, I went like, yeah, like I was losing my mind. And when I say, and then right before I left, as this was happening, then these like satanic AI, if you look up this show, you will see what I'm talking about. This big, it was almost like an AI, like satanic robot starts flying around the room, and like they're doing a ritual, and there's like, and then they're all in like animal costumes. I'm like, I am getting the F out right now, and I run out of that. Like when I say I booked it out of the circus when like the ritual began, I booked it. I'm like, they're not doing like a sacrifice in front of everyone, but this is nothing different. And then I started seeing these entities come in, like, because I was having like third eye. I was like, that's when I knew I had to leave, because I started seeing entities come in, and I'm like, I'm out. That's that story. Satanic circus on a family vacation. Yeah, and like that was just like horrifying. Okay. 3 more stories for those who want to hear. The next story is okay, this one's interesting. So this was, I think it was a full moon. I believe it was the first eclipse portal of 2024. So at this point I was like, yeah, I wasn't here because I moved here that summer. So I almost moved. Yeah. So I was like, so anyway, it was a lunar, I think it was the lunar eclipse of 2024. Yeah. Cause that was before the April 8th eclipse. Okay. So I go to this like full moon. I just heard a noise. I don't know if that was like my voice or like what. Weird. Okay. A lot of weird stuff is happening as I'm doing this video. Like even just I'm like observing the energy around me. I'm like, okay, but like whatever. I'm going to clear my energy after this. So I go to this energy event and I'm just like, yeah, like I was just like, I was going to go. So, it was like a full moon energy healing circle, and I knew the person running it. This story won't be as long. But anyway, we're in the circle. And, like, the energy was getting really, like, intense and, like, potent. And I was just, like, you know, really, like, tapping in because we were using the energy. It was, like, a full moon energy, like, intention setting. It was a lunar eclipse, you know. It was, like, intense for that. So I went to this energy ceremony and supported the person that was running it. Halfway through this energy ceremony, I, like, opened my eyes because, like, it was, like, really, we were all, like, in meditation, whatever. And all of a sudden, I see, like, portals opening in the room, and these, like, angelic beings started coming in. And, like, they were coming in handfuls. Like, there was a shit ton. And I'm, like, looking around, and I'm, like, seeing, oh my goodness, there's beings coming in, like, these angelic, like, high vibrational beings. And some of them looked almost, like, Pleiadian-like, but some were, like, angelic-like. And I was, like, oh my goodness, like, hello. Like, thank you for arriving. And, like, I just started, like, one was coming right up to me, and, like, I was, like, getting the attention of the person running the ceremony, and I was, like, do you see this? Like, do you see this? And, like, she was, like, and then someone else, I was, like, do you see this? Like, I'm not even joking, and then she's, like, and, like, we were all the three of us, the other, like, there was maybe, like, 10 to 15 people in the room, and, like, three of us, I was, like, trying to get people's attention. I'm, like, do you see this? Like, they're, like, do you see these things here? Because I knew they were here, but it was obviously good confirmation being like, oh my goodness, like, they are here. So it's just like the frequencies were playing, and like just like talking to them, and like it was just like, it was so fun. Like, I like really enjoyed that ceremony. So that was like a really cool ceremony, but that was like a really cool like encounter I've had. And I've had a lot of like encounters with, you know, even just when I was younger, I would always have like encounters. I did used to have like really weird like gray encounters, maybe before the age of 5. And then there was a period of my life where like I had nothing. It was really until I probably was from like age 6 or 7 to like 14. And then after, you know, I went through everything I went through and then got sober, cleared myself up, woke up to really everything that I had to. That's when the stuff came back. Cause like I also have like a lot of memories pre this incarnation too. So I always knew like I've had experiences. And I just want to add, do I want to do my story of my incarnation in this video, or I'm going to save my incarnation story? Like, cause I have all the details of my incarnation, and like, I remember everything. And I even have memories of like, I remember like the process of being basically teleported here. And then also I remember like, I even have memories in the womb. So like, I'm going to do maybe a whole video on that, like a whole different time. I'll save that because that's like very potent. Do I want to do a video of like, I'll put all that in a video because like it's kind of approaching an hour and I'm getting exhausted like energetically from all these stories. But yeah, I'll do my incarnation story another time. I'll put it down the list for at some point in 2026. Okay, next is okay, yes. So this was back in September, and I went over to my aunt's house. She lives in Florida for dinner. Aunt Cindy, if you're watching this, I love you. Out of everyone in my family, like everyone in my family and extended family is fully asleep to literally everything, and I don't think any of them are going to wake up, and I'm not even saying that to be negative. It's just facts. But I have woken my Aunt Cindy up to chemtrails, to some ritual stuff, and she's awakening her spiritual abilities, which I've been really helping her with. So I really like don't, I always put a boundary of like, do I help family of like, there's some, but like, I know she's contracted to awaken. So I've actually been helping her, and she's been really like, I think she's getting there. So I go over to her house, and this is in September. This was September 21st, 2025. Solar eclipse. Okay, so I was going over for dinner. And like, it was like really weird energy that night. I'm not going to get into like all the stuff that was happening around that. But I like drive, she's like 30 minutes from me. So I like drove there, and I was like, I get there, and we were in our kitchen and we were just like making the food, whatever. And like, I kid you not, okay? As we're talking, I'm like, hey, there's a spirit right there. Like, I was like pointing to where it was. I'm like, you have a spirit in your house. You have a spirit in your house, like right now. Like, it gets here. And she's like, what? Like, because it took a while for her to actually understand what, like, actually, there was, like, this was the first real experience where I think she knew, like, this is when I do cross into mediumship occasionally, so I didn't think she knew I was able to maybe do that, but I did help her with some energy stuff in the past, so she kind of knew that I was able to do stuff like that, but it's like, hey, you have a spirit here, you have a spirit. So anyway, we're talking, and like, as she's responding to me, the light shut off in her house, and I was like, oh, like, yeah, like, the confirmation. And like, she's like, what? The lights turn back on 30 seconds later, and all of a sudden she gets a phone call from like this woman, and the woman was basically like, hey, like, I'm just reaching out because basically she was like, my husband, who was her handyman, passed away unexpectedly, and like, she hadn't heard from him in a while, and I was like, oh my goodness, that's him, like, he's here. And then all of a sudden, like, his wife calls her when the lights turn back on. So that was like really intense. I was like, and it's a solar eclipse. I'm just like, I need to go home and rest. Like, this is enough for tonight. The last story I have of the night was, this is like so bittersweet, and I miss her so much, my grandmother. I love her. She crossed over 3 years ago from December, but I'm going to share because I actually helped her cross over. And this was when I really knew I was able to do mediumship. So, which I don't like, mediumship isn't my forefront of what I do. Like, if I tailor myself down to 2 things that I do, it's really helping people like heal and clear, and it's also like remote viewing stuff. So yeah. But anyway, it's December, 1st of 2022, and my grandmother was like slipping away, but like, I knew I was getting downloads, like, because I was really close with her, and she lived here in Florida. So I was like, okay, like, I feel like I just got a nudge to be there. And like, during December 1st, 2022, Spirit was like, came through, like, get there now. So anyway, I get on a plane that night and I go down here, and there was some family already here, and basically, like, when I saw her, I knew like what I was there for. And yeah, she was like hanging on a while. So anyway, like, I saw, like, this was the last night when she was able to, like, have her eyes open and be somewhat conscious. She saw me, and like, in that moment I was like, oh, okay, I know what I'm here for, because I knew it was a matter of time. So I, the whole day on December 2nd, I was like really clearing the energy of the room, and I was really just like preparing her. Like, I was holding space energetically, and like, I knew I felt a lot of ancestral stuff coming through, and it was like very bittersweet. And like, I really wasn't grieving. I was like, I knew there was a reason that I was doing what I was doing. And then that next morning, December 3rd, 2022, it was like a Saturday. Yeah, it was a Saturday. I was like, it was in the morning, and like, I knew at that point, I think the day before, yeah, there was a couple, she was almost crossing over that day, but then she came back. It was weird. It was like, there was one moment, meanwhile, I was like, anytime she was about to cross over, it wasn't with, like, because there would be a lot of family going in and out throughout the day, or people visiting and all that. It would only be when I would be in the room with her. It wouldn't be when, like, when anyone else would be in there, like, she would not go, and it would be like only when I would be in there. So I was like, that was interesting, because like, there was 2 other windows on December 2nd where she was about to cross over, and I was like helping facilitate, and then she'd come back. I'd be like, oh, okay, not yet. Anyway, December 3rd, that morning, it was like a bright sunny morning, and I go in the room, and it was like it was happening. And anyway, I was in the room, and I was really just facilitating energetically, and I was just calling in like light, and I opened up this like big white light portal, okay? And like all of a sudden, all these like angelic spirits started coming in, and like I was like, whoa, like this is sick. And like I wasn't gonna grieve her crossing over, because like, you know, I've been able to really tap in and connect with her, and like, and I knew I was gonna be able to have that connection still, you know, just not physically. So like, I think having my awakening at this point, like I was already awake for like over a couple of years, not where I'm at now, but like having that awakening, like I knew like I wasn't going to grieve. And there was a reason like that I was there to facilitate this experience. So, that morning, you know, I was really facilitating the room, and like, you know, all these angelic, like all these ancestors, I guess, like just like started coming through, and all her guides, and all of a sudden, like they all come in, and I'm opening up a white light portal. I'm seeing all this. I'm like, oh, this is so cool. Like, and it's like people like get so sad about death, and death is an illusion. I'm just like, you're literally upping in consciousness. Like, you go, queen. Like, and I was so happy for her in that moment. And all of a sudden, it was so bittersweet. This really made me like understand like how like this reality is nothing. Like this incarnation is so small compared to like what's out there after this. This is just like a test, you know? So anyway, they all come in, and I'm like opening up this white light portal energetically, and they pick her up and they take her. And I know I was right next to her, and like, it was so bittersweet. And at this point, yeah, there was like, cause she almost crossed over 2 times the day before. So we were like, I was the only one, like the only family member that was aware that she was like about to, you know, cross over. And I was like, hey, like you should probably call up like, you know, hospice or something, because like, I think, I don't know if she's having trouble, or like she, you know, I think she needs to be at more peace, because I think she was in pain a little bit. So anyway, they called them that night. And then I remember after, like, right when that happened, I remember the nurse came over. It was actually me. Oh yeah, my dad was actually there. He came in, but like she crossed over, and then they came in, and they said like she crossed over. But it was basically me facilitating the energy work, and then my dad and another family member came in, like really just as like, I believe she crossed over when I opened up that white light portal, but it was meant to happen the way it happened. That was so peaceful though. Like I love her. And then a year and a half later, I was just like looking at a picture of her and I on the wall, because I had it in my room, and like she knocked it over, and glass broke everywhere. And I knew like it was actually almost a year to the day where she passed. And then I knew that's when like she wanted me to start contacting her. So then we've been in communication. So I really didn't contact her for a year. And then 2024, like that summer, so which is like a year and a half later, she was like, I've been checking in with your guides. Like I've been actually like, because she was more angelic. She like, I'm the only like cosmic incarnation in my family. She was more angelic realms. The other people in my family are earthbound, lower density incarnations. So I'm the only like real like star seed incarnation. And also like, I also feel like a part of me is angelic. Like I don't think I'm fully star seed. I think I'm like 75% star seed, 25% angelic. That's like what I tell people. I do think there's an angelic side to my experience too. So anyway, so like my guides once told me, oh yeah, your grandmother kept checking in and just seeing how you're doing. And then when I tapped into like my headquarters, I was like, they were like, yep, she checks in here too. So it's just like, everything is so connected. You know what I mean? Doesn't matter if you're a starseed or angelic, like we're all just like these beings from these higher dimensional places here together. Right. So that was that story. which I really think I'm going to do a whole video on my incarnation one day. And then I'm going to get into I might merge my incarnation with starseed incarnations and angelic incarnations. So, yeah, so wow, that was like such a potent video. And like, I was really happy that I was able to, you know, share all that with you guys. Sometimes sharing all these stories is a lot, but I just wanted to make today and like as like a fun video, you know, like just more down to earth stuff, because I feel like I don't like being so serious all the time. And I think that's something like I want to merge in, even though a video like this is probably going to get like maybe like 5 to 10 people are actually going to watch this whole thing through. Like, this is the type of video I'm doing for those 5 to 10 people. Like, this type of video is not going to like, you know, get a lot of whatever. I don't really care about likes or views anyway, but this is the exact type of video. It's like good to like ground the audience and just like really have you guys, you know, just like see, you know, another side to me. Like, I'm not, you know, just a constant remote viewer sharing agendas. Like, I just have some of these stories too that have, you know, happened, and there's a whole bunch of other stories that I'm definitely leaving out. But I think just sharing a more personal side too is just like, you know, I think it helps ground me, because like I'm doing a lot on here, and like, you know, I think I am going to be doing a lot. So even if it's like a one video like this every couple months, that's something that I'm totally going to, you know, keep on my radar and do. But yeah, so that I'm going to wrap this video up. So once again, I'm debating on the next video. If I don't do the next video the end of the month, I mean, I'd probably be like doing it the last week of February and posting it around that weekend, like the last weekend of February, first weekend of March. So I just really got to see how I'm feeling, because I'd be doing the remote view the last week of February. So I'll see. I'm happy I got this video out, but really tentative on the last video of the month, because that might be like one of the biggest videos, and like it might even like, I don't know, my whole YouTube could go down after. I don't know. Like I feel like I just have to like sit with it and see if like if I really am meant to, you know, release this and take that risk. And like I'm just gonna pray on it and see what comes forward through spirit, source, my guides, and sort of, you know, where I feel like if my contracts are gonna, you know, if I'm able to do something like this. Because this next, like, I just feel like I've gotten intuitive hits on like how something like that can be really big. So I'm just gonna be mindful of, you know, sort of how I do what I do. With that, sending you all so much love and light. Take care, and I'm looking forward to seeing you guys in the next